What's up, guys? Sean here from Srkcycles.com. We have 2014 Suzuki GSX-R 1000. Now, normally, I would spend the whole test drive talking yet about buying this bike because no one needs this much power. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you why you should buy this bike. I'm going to go out of my comfort zone and tell you why you should buy this bike, who should buy this bike, and tell you about the 4 cars, the only 4 production cars out there that are as fast as this bike. No, that are faster than this bike. This thing beats everything. This thing's insane. Quarter mile and 10.1. Got my little sticky notes. The first liter bike I ever rode was a GSX-R 1000. 05, loved it. And then the first liter bike I ever owned was an 07 GSX-R 1000. Loved it. Ah, shoot. It's gonna blow away. Let me read the I'm gonna stop for a second. Read the words of wisdom for the day. Who will separate us from the love of Christ? Will tribulations, or distress, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword? Nope, none of those. My one beef about this particular bike, these front brakes need bled, man. They just, I mean, I'm like, I got these look like Pazzo levers. I got this thing maxed out to the max setting, and when I pull it in, man, I'm hitting my knuckles. That drives me nuts. I don't like I'm not like 7-finger braking. I'm 2-finger braking, maybe 1-finger braking, and that's all I need. So I'm not gonna be hitting it very hard because just they need bled. Alright, so why buy a bike like this? Why buy a stupid, fast bike like this? Everything else is boring. You want to see if you can handle that type of power. 600, 750s, even mod it out, just they're not doing it for you. Where the 1000 starts to crush the competition. And trust me, I've been on 600, 750s, having no problems keeping up with the 1000 liter bikes up until about 60, 70 miles an hour. And then, you know, and it's those higher speeds where there's not even any competition. They're just gone. So if you need that high speed power, if you want that ability, you know what I mean, just be cruising at triple digits and pop that front end up and ride a wheelie, this is what's going to get it done for you. I'm not saying you should do that, but if that's what you're looking for, 0 to 60s in 0 to 62 is in 3 seconds. That's an extremely fast fast bike. So let's look at this. Let's compare this to just overall speed. Bang per buck. If you were going to get this type of speed in a car, you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars. No joke. The only 4 cars that I could find that are faster than this, the cheapest one was $850,000. And those cars are the Ferrari LaFerrari, the McLaren P1, the Porsche 918, and the Bugatti Veyron Supersport. And those are all new cars. Within like the past 2 years, those cars came out. So before that, there's not a production car out there that could that would pull on you on this thing, that if you buy a used is like 10,000 bucks, less than 10,000 bucks. The bang for your buck, a factory made 10-second, and I'm talking like 10, it's like 10-1, not like slow 10 seconds, not like 10-9, 10-1. The bang for your buck for this, and this is made by the factory. This can do it. We're not talking like your brother-in-law's Honda Civic that's running like 12, but you know, it needs new head gaskets every other weekend. You know, we're talking this thing's made for it. This thing will do 50,000 miles doing 10-second quarter miles. It's insane. It's reliable and it's cheap to maintain. You can't beat that. You can't beat that type of acceleration, that kind of pull for that little amount of money. Like, where else can you get that kind of bang for your buck? You can't. These brakes are driving me nuts. See how my front end just lifted off the ground? I wasn't even full throttle. It just hit a little crest in the hill, and the front end's like, yay, let me just take it off. If that scares you, you better stay away from this bike. If that excites you, hey, maybe this bike's the bike for you. Maybe. See, the problem when these brakes are all spongy like this, you can't get on the brakes and rev the bike down, because when you're actually putting pressure on the brakes, it's pushing into your knuckles. I got the brakes on my track bike, like that is full braking. It like, look, that right there is like full braking. And that's the way it should be, with steel braided lines. I have a theory that you could actually, that the stock brakes actually have a little bit of air in them. And then if you spend like a half an hour bleeding them out, you can get them a little tighter than what they come from the factory. But if you ever feel like a hot bike, maybe riding for a while, feel them rubber brake lines, and then pump the brake, you'll feel them flex. You feel them like a pulsate, like a little heart, like boom, boom. You can feel them flex. That's all. You're all getting that. That's just slack in your lever. So that's why I'm big on steel braided lines. So guys, the leader bikes and the GSXR, I'm not really comparing this to other leader bikes. Who are we kidding? They're all super fast. They're all great. There's never like, oh, the leader bikes, and then like Yamaha's like, it's like half the horsepower. No, they're all extremely competitive. They're all very fast. Although I did fall in love with the S1000RR, and it kind of appears like the H2 is kind of in a class of its own. Pushing out 220 horsepower, which I've never ridden one yet. I almost had a chance to buy one a little while ago, but it didn't work out. But all these, it's all about the rider. All these bikes are great. But when you compare these things to just overall speed, this really is a rocket. I mean, if you look at, I've never done this before, but if you had the opportunity to race a plane that was like launching off the ground, you know, like they accelerate pretty quick, I'm pretty sure this bike will smoke that. This looks out accelerated airplane. I'm talking like a commercial airliner, you know. I don't know. I think I looked it up one time, and I found out that my bike is faster than that. I mean, the G's that you can pull, what is this? Vertical, no, lateral, I don't know. the frontal G's that you can pull in these things. It's just incredible. I mean, they really are modern marvels. And I know that there are people out there like, yeah, I learned how to ride on a 2017 GSXR 1000. It was my first bike. Good for you. Good for you. Whoever helped you do that is a moron. You're also not so bright yourself. I'm talking learn how to ride. Never ridden anything else. This is the widow maker. This is the whatever you call when you kill the woman. Widower maker. Widow man. I mean, you can on a smaller bike, you can do goofy. You can do goofy stuff because your throttle hand's a little retarded. On a bike like this, man. I mean, you mess up, you dump the clutch on the wrong spot. I mean, watch this. It's a very powerful bike, but you have to have the ability to harness it, to tame the beast. If not, this bike has one goal: to kill you. All these poles, all these trees are just like magnets to this bike. If you let it go, it's like, it just like goes right through a tree. It just wants to send you in a tree. This bike wants you dead. You gotta tame it. Guys, I love riding these leader bikes. They are stupid fast. Although you can pretty much, you can't ride it, and it's almost impossible to ride these things for any extent of time and maintain any type of speed limit. Like right now, I'm doing 135 miles an hour in this residential zone. But it looks like I'm only doing like 23. I mean, like in my mind, I'm like, wow, I'm not going that fast. But people are yelling at me. Cops are chasing me behind me like a hot pursuit because I'm doing triple digits right now. But it looks like nothing. I got one hand off my handlebars. You know what I mean? Now I'm accelerating. I got two hands off, but it feels like I'm going crazy slow. It's amazing how fast this bike is. Guys, that wraps it up. I love this bike. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely gonna kill you. If you're wondering, is that bike gonna kill me? Yes, yes, the bike will kill you. When you buy this bike, you get like a tombstone. But you're gonna have fun. You'd have fun doing it. Alright guys, that wraps up this test drive for the 2014 GSXR 1000. Do not buy this bike unless you hate your life, or unless you really want to live. That's another good thing. Man, got the cool little GSXR things. It's got the stock pipe. It's got a good sound. I'm so happy Suzuki decided to stop putting twin dual exhaust, heavy dual exhaust on their leader bike. I got calf burns on both sides from those exhausts. With this one pipe saves so much weight. Alright guys, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe.